Hello,
Hello.
Miguel.
How are you, Kat? How are you? So
I'm
nice
pretty
to see
good.
you.
Pretty good. Just trying to survive the heat and the mowing the grass, making my allergies act up. So I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're very allergic.
Well, not really. I mean, just don't like the smell of French cut grass and it's all in the air with the
Yeah.
pollen and all of that. So
This
I'm
is
not,
like humid and it's
yeah,
like, yeah,
running
I
out.
get it.
I'm running out.
Oh, I get it. Sorry for you.
Yeah,
Hope it passes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's summertime. I mean, that's where my natural allergies hit the roof. It's like one time in the spring and like one time in the middle of the summer. Not so
Hmm.
much in the fall, winter. Uh,
Okay. Well, then you managed. You managed before, so great.
definitely, definitely. I'm like one of the persons in my family besides my kids who always get sick somehow, but my husband never gets sick. Maybe once every blue moon he gets sick.
Okay.
When he
Okay.
dies, I leave him alone because I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah, I get
Well,
it. That's great, at least.
because I really want to appreciate your time and your flexibility for coming to the Cat Chat podcast just to talk about your experience about Hallmark.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm going to say one thing because I've been watching different podcasts that I've been there, so I'm going to be like, yes, boss, I do everything. We will get into that in a moment. So, because I want, before we dive into the Hallmark thing, I wanted to know what made you get into acting. Was it something that you've always wanted to do, or did you have another career in mind?
Well, I that's a very good question. I think I always wanted to be an actor ever since I was a very young kid. Um, 'Cause I remember I think probably the first time that I got like on a stage and then I did a school play, I was like 6 years old. So and I remember it very vividly. And I remember the joy I felt. I remember the feeling, like the bodily sensation. And I think there was always something about um, it's like a professional athlete. It's like I always saw that as a very uh, powerful dream to dream, something like very difficult to achieve. And I'm always up for challenges, and I loved it. So I said, okay, I think this might be it. And I was um, I was a bit of an introvert as well. I was not very like outgoing or super extroverted or anything. I was like more quiet. I've had lots of friends, of course, and I played sports and everything, but I was not like this super uh, extroverted kids. I was more or less quiet, and I found that through this I could express a lot more of myself. And I've always loved movies. Movies have always been a very important pillar in my life. Like everything, like the best family activity that we had was always going to the movies. Like I've got lots of brothers and sisters. We're four of us, so we always went to the movies. I figured that's a way that my mom had for us to just sit down for 2 hours and just be chill. But it's like we went to the movies like once a week or twice a week if we could, or if not, we would have like there's like right next to my house there was a Blockbuster. You remember Blockbuster? So like that would be like Friday night. We would just go and rent some movies and then just watch movies. So movies have always been this part of my life, very important part of my life. And I think that were the seeds for this for me to try to become an actor. And I'm also very, very stubborn. So when I have like this idea in my mind, I just try to follow through to the end of it. And well, it hasn't been a straight line, to be honest. I mean, I've been moving around, but it was always like Like the goal was always there, and even though I did different things, I knew that I was going to come back to this. For example, I also did. I have a degree in environmental sciences. I studied environmental sciences as well,
Oh,
and I liked the degree. I had liked the university and everything. I think that was it was a great experience. But even though I mean, while I was there, I always said that I was an actor. It's like, oh, well, what are you gonna do when you go out? And I was like, I'm just gonna be an actor. I'm just gonna keep on looking for this. And then I've had already done a couple of things before I got into university, but I mean, it doesn't hurt. I loved having like those 4 years and that experience, and I met my girlfriend, which I've been with her for 15 years almost. I met her there, so I think that was like part of yeah, it's a very hallmark thing. It's like
yeah.
uh, yeah, I met her there.
Meet a cute kind of movie, meet a
Yeah,
girlfriend at the university, and
yes,
so on.
and this is a cute story as well because she had a boyfriend and I had a girlfriend, different boyfriend girlfriend situation. So first, of course, we had like I mean, there was attraction, of course, but we were very respectful of our relationship, so we became friends. And after a couple of, well, no, it was more like almost a year, I'd say. Like after a year, she broke up and I broke up, and suddenly everything was like ready for it to happen. And we were like denying it, but then and eventually, of course, it happened. And we've been together ever since. And it's, yeah,
It
it's
sounds like how
been,
my that sounds like how my husband and I met.
yes.
Very similar because I was my first year in college and I was dating someone, just started to date someone, and he was coming to the university to visit his friend, who's a mutual friend between both of us. I met him.
Wow.
My first impression of him was that nice to meet you. So that good. Well, I gotta go to class. And he
Yeah,
was kind of seeing someone, but it wasn't like formal or for sure. But I was starting off a new relationship, no, for sure in college, all of
of
that.
course.
Football player, by the way, so with all that. And I was like, And then back forward, maybe 2 years, I broke up with him,
Mhm.
shy of 3 years being together. And he was just not being with a girl who was always busy with his job because he traveled for his
Uh-huh.
job, building silos and metal pieces. So I was telling him, oh, find out what that guy named Jason, hiring teacher, how would I know? Find out yourself. I was like, okay. So I started
Wow.
between them and I got a hold of him. The rest was history. We talked every day. He was like, oh, how's that the boyfriend of yours? I was like, I told them everything, the relationship, the breakup, and I was like, oh God, I better not let this guy. I better not let this guy. 7 months later, we started dating. Then 10 months later, we got engaged. And then I
Wow.
got pregnant with our first kid. And then
Wow.
2 years later, we got married. So
Wow.
it's kind of like a Hallmark story,
Like,
that,
yeah, of
that kind
course.
of stuff.
It's like a
So it's
snowball,
funny.
it started growing. Once it started moving, then it just started growing. Great,
But I put
congratulations.
it backwards, but it all worked out at the end.
Exactly. That's the important part, right? It works out at the end.
Definitely.
Great.
Okay, now
Yeah.
we're going to talk about the movie Barcelona Forever. Um, when I saw that movie and I talked with Ashley last week, there's like so many things in my mind, so many questions. I'm like, I gotta know about that. I gotta know about this. So first, I want to ask, how did you feel when you found out that you were gonna be a Hallmark lead with Ashley in that movie?
I think I wasn't because I've been long enough in this not to get like too excited because things can change last minute all the time. But there's always something that once you get the call and that you've been confirmed for a job, and particularly these type of jobs, which are like uh, huge, it's really something because I grew up like knowing what a Hallmark movie was, you know, and it's like very iconic. It's a very big thing. It's like a mark, like a great mark in your life, meaning of like I've done this, you know, this is really impressive. And first of all, I think I talked about this with Ashley in the live that we did, but I don't know if she told you about it. We had like I did like a first casting. I did a first audition, like a self tape. I sent a self tape, and after that, we had like a sort of callback where I had a Zoom call with Ashley and Allison, and we had the call. Everything went great, and it was just like a normal chat. They just wanted to figure out if I was not a psycho. You know, that's the only thing that they were looking for. And when I hung up, I thought I was never gonna get the job. You know, I came out of my room and I just told my girlfriend, I'm never gonna get this. You know, it was like really. I felt honestly felt that I was not gonna get it because that usually happens when you don't feel like you're in control, which is kind of ironic, but you usually get it. You know, so I was totally convinced that I was not gonna get it. And when they called me and they confirmed it, it was like, wow, wow, wow. It's just, I remember I was in a meeting with a friend and a couple of friends for something that I do with a university, and I just saw my agent calling me, and you know, it's very weird what I'm gonna say, but it's true. When you're in the process of auditions and you get callbacks, and suddenly you get the call from your agent, there's something like mystical or magical that you know if the call is going to be good or if it's going to be bad. You know, if you see it, then you suddenly feel this is okay, this is good, or this is bad. And I just saw it and I said, this is good. You know, so I got the call. She told me, okay, you're going to start in like 3 weeks because it was super fast. And I think I'm still processing it in a way, you know, because it was such like a big thrill for me. And yeah, I was just tremendously happy. It was a really, really joyful. It was just like it's a shock. It's still a shock. You can see that I'm still in shock, you know. But yeah, yeah, it was lovely. It's a lovely feeling that I hope to have many more times in my life, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm starting there, but after seeing that movie, I was just like, I hope I see more Miguel and more Hallmark movies
Thank you.
with Ashley because I mean the chemistry. I mean after chatting with Ashley, getting all the stories, the behind the scenes. They should like. I mean it's very rare to hire somebody from that country
Yeah.
be an extra, to be a supporting role, like the family, for example, and just go with it and not expecting to be the lead. She was like, yeah, me and Allison have to do a room, but we want to make sure he's not, some kind of creep out of
Yeah.
nowhere. I thought, oh, I can assure you, he's definitely not a creep. So that movie was just breathtaking and the chemistry. Just like tell me about you and Ashley how to do work together, prep together for the movie with the chemistry. How did that hit?
Well, I think that we started. We had a couple of, I think, one or two Zooms before we actually met. We had like this first Zoom with Allison, and after that, they started shooting the first movie, of course, and I wasn't there, so they were shooting while they were shooting the first movie. We did a Zoom reading for the second movie, uh, which was just Ashley and myself. And of course, she was super tired because she was like shooting a movie plus producing the movie plus having the Zooms with me. And she's very good at everything she does. She's just brilliant at everything she does, honestly. And that's it's a huge it was a huge opportunity for me to learn a lot about how does she do all of these things because plus she's a mom of two and it's like how do you do this, you know? It's
Mm.
impressive in my opinion, and everything is always like with a very with a great sense of humor, and I think that's where we actually connected. because we both have a good sense of humor. We like to sort of laugh things out. We're always like trying to find the joke out of everything. I don't know if it's a self-defense mechanism, but it definitely works, you know. And I think that's I would say that was the first or the most important thing where we connected. Actually, I think that was like the sense of humor and like being always trying to bring like a light mood to everything. And first Zoom reading, we did like the whole script or most of it, like the main scenes at least. And I felt comfortable enough to make some suggestions or try to do some changes, which is not usual to feel that comfortable. So that was great for me, you know. And after that Zoom reading, I went for a fitting to Barcelona because they were shooting in Barcelona. I live in Madrid, and I went for the fitting. And I knew before this movie I have already worked with Alejandro Toles, the guy that plays Nico. We were friends already before the movie. So I texted him, "Hey, I'm coming out for the fitting, and if you're around, let's just grab lunch or something." And he was kind enough to just show me around set. He introduced me to everyone, and then that day I met her like uh, for real, like in person, which is always weird to finally meet someone that you've been talking with. I mean, it probably happened to you many times that you've been talking with someone on Zoom, and then suddenly you meet face to face, and that was that's a weird moment. It was like, oh hi, hi, and I was like, oh hi, yeah, it's me, I'm here. It's like, whoa, ow, ow. It's like, wow, you know, and and after that, I think we just started to get along while working. You know, I don't know if she told you this story, but there was this moment, like on my first day, I was super nervous because it was like first day you're always nervous, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
on the first day we had like the bridge scene. You remember the bridge scene where we're like with the ice cream and like the first kiss. And that was on the first day, and I had just like seen her
Yeah.
like once in my life, you know, which is always kind of weird. And and it was a tough day for shooting because it was of course outside and there were lots of people and it was like we were against the clock and I have this terrible thing where I always feel like if something is not going perfectly right, I feel like it's my fault, you know, which is I know it's not true, but it usually happens. So I was kind of nervous, and I thought they hated me. I thought they hated me. I said, okay, they're gonna fire me now. You know, that's the true story. And after that, she texted me, "Oh, thank you so much for the day. It was a great day." And they say, "Okay, I could relax." You know, I said, "Okay, this is not so bad." And the very next day, I was about to go. I think I was going to go for a run. I was just coming out of the hotel, and she was coming in because she went out for a walk, I think. And this is one of those yes boss moments, you know. Yeah, because I was just coming out of the hotel, was about to walk out the door, and she was about to walk in the door, and she was like, "Hey, hey, how are you? Want to run your lines? Let's run your lines." And she grabbed me by the hand and she took me to another different walk, and we just started running our lines. And then I don't know what I was gonna do, but I stopped doing it. You know, I said, "Okay, yeah, yeah, boss, whatever you said." It's just I mean, I gotta follow your orders. You know, it's yours. You're the boss. You know, and but I think that we enjoyed the work in itself. You know, we enjoyed running the lines. We enjoyed like doing these everything. I love the fact of actually working with her. You know, it didn't feel like so much of an effort. You know, so I think that was what really made us translate that chemistry into the screen as well. Because I think it was just about having fun, and we tried to have fun all the time. Plus, we eventually, with spending more time together and everything, we start to get along even more. So that always helps. But it all came from the work, you know, like enjoying the work. And she's a fantastic actress, and she's insanely comic actress as well. So that was very easy to work with, and I think that the more comfortable, the more relaxed you feel, the better the work is. You know, for me at least. And we were making fun of each other all the time. You know, I think that's also something that helps. Uh, Particularly for these two characters, that they have like this beef moments at the beginning and then they get along, but they still have like this thing where they're pretending to be when they're not. So that's, you know, all of that physicality also helped, you know. uh yeah, I had so much fun doing this. I had so much fun, which is always a blessing because you're gonna spend a lot of very long hours with someone, and you'll be working like for days and weeks, and you're gonna see these people every day. So it's always a blessing when you actually get along and when you actually enjoy what you're doing and when you're actually having fun. Like the fun was real, you know. So that was I think that's what's special about this movie. That's what made it special for me as well. Yeah.
I definitely watch most of the Hallmark movies and most of my podcasts, and I'm always like curious and finding out which scheme they would shoot first, and where they would do that for most. For most movies, they would always the last scene or the first kiss. So I'm curious, how did you feel about that? Was it awkward? You know, day one, okay, you guys are gonna be kissing by the
Yeah. Yeah.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that.
It's
So
always
what
awkward.
else?
It's always awkward because you don't get to like build anything. You just get to get straight to the point. And of course, and this was it was fun because she's of course she was my boss as well in this movie, you know, 'cause she was producing. So I remember these exact moments where I'm like at the bridge and we're about to have like the kissing scene, and they're getting the lights ready and everything. I'm just standing there, and there's like lots of wind and lots of people and everything. I'm just looking at her because I gotta do like this. Um, uh, what was
Yeah,
the line? It was like, and a little spicy. That was my line. You know, a little spicy, and then I go and then kiss her, right? And they were about to call action. Ron, the director, fantastic director as well, was about to call action, and she was just looking at me like this, like straight in the face. And I thought she was going to say something, and then she just suddenly like fixed my hair like 2 seconds before they called action. It was like, yeah, that's better. Action. And I was like, okay, yeah. Uh, so that was really fun as well. Once I got into that rhythm, because it's like, okay, okay, because you know she's always, and that's the thing about how great they both were, because they were thinking about the scene, they were acting, they were producing, they had lots of things on their minds, and that was just impressive to watch for me. Like to say, okay, wow, so they're the real deal. You know, they're doing everything, and that was impressive. But it was also a little bit more pressure, you know, like you got to deliver, you know. But that was just my idea. I mean, I never felt it like they would actually pressure me on anything. Actually, I felt like really, really free to do anything I wanted. So that was great. But it's always very how can I put it? It's very it's not weird. Weird's not the word because you know this is the work, but it would always be better to shoot something that's not the first kiss on the first day, I would say, because it's always like there's something physical, you know. It's very difficult. You have to like surpass a physical barrier, which is very it's personal, and you don't know. Always like there's like a it's very orthopedic, you know, like kisses in movies. It's like you have to face a certain way, and the lights are like this way, and you have to position yourself, and it's like building Lego, you know. It doesn't feel natural at all. So so like the first time you do it, if it's the first day you've met, then it's very weird. I mean, thankfully we've met before in Barcelona and we've met before through Zoom, so we knew what was going to happen. But still, it's always like, okay, hi, this is Miguel. Nice to meet you. Now we're gonna kiss, you know. And but it's just what it is. I mean, it's still gonna happen because it's just production how it works. So it's all about building like the right mindset. If you know the character and if you know the story, then you sort of position yourself in these like time slots. It's I think that's the main difference between like stage acting and film. You know, because in film you have to know precisely like the very uh, short time slots where you're going to play. You know, it's like between action and cuts, like these 2 pages that come from this place and are going to this place. So I'm just going to focus and right on this moment. Whereas in the stage, you get to play like the full arc, you know, and you're a little bit more into that story because it's easier. The story carries you all that way. Whereas in film, you have to be very organized to just know what you're going to do and how you're going to be in this particular moment. So, yeah, it's just part of the work. I love it, by the way. It's just, it's different. You got to be a little bit more organized, you know? But yeah.
For this being the first Hallmark movie, how challenging or how was it for you to learn the lines and the script and for each day of the shooting or how do you prepare yourself with whatever scene you have to shoot for that day mentally to make sure they're comfortable because I know it was your first Hallmark movie and the project and you're like, I got this job, I'm hired, okay, I'm here now, I'm working with Ashley who's
Yeah.
fantastic producer, writer, actress, all in one
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good thing that I have. It's once I get the job and once I have to actually work, then I know what works for me. I know what because everyone works differently and it's equally as good. So I know that what works for me, I have to like really break down the script and really like read it 4 or 5 times at least, and then break it down and then know what each scene means to me, and then like have I don't know if I don't have the script here, but I'll send you some pictures. So my script is completely scribbled down from top to bottom, and I underline everything and I write things on the sides and I change things and I move things and I like to like scratch everything a lot. You know, it's part of how I work. I try to write a lot, scratch a lot, like change things, switch things. I'm very analogic in a way. I still need like my paper and pen, you know, and that helps me to remember everything. I usually just read the script as many times as I can, like the whole story from page one till the end, and like a play, I read it like that, like complete. And I don't usually like divide it. I like to read it full so that I get like the whole story in my mind, and I know exactly what I was talking to you before. Like I know what happens in each moment. I know this is right after this, or this is right before this. So then I'm comfortable with being like in the situation. Um, and then of course I try to be as free as possible to find new things on set. Like depending on where we're shooting, then I don't know, the house was a fantastic place to just find new things, you know, because it was such a great location. Or the bridge was fantastic. Or you never know what's going to happen when you have like the ice cream and it's melting down, and you know what's going to. I mean, and then I try to incorporate everything. And I also have this. I don't know who said it. I know I saw this in an interview. I don't know if it was Sterling K. Brown or another fantastic American actor who said that you cannot be a fan and play the game at the same time. And I think that's also something that I keep close to my heart because that's it. Once you're working, then you got to work. You cannot be even if you're working with Ashley or with Allison or someone whom you admire, and they're great and fantastic actresses. You have to do your work. And this is my part of the work, so I'm going to be ready for anything that comes.
Mhm.
And that's the only way that I can. I mean, I think that's just me. I have to feel really prepared in order to feel comfortable and just be loose and then just be able to play. That's just the way I do it. Thankfully, I've had already worked in different series in Spain where I had to learn lots of lines, and I've always um, I did this daily where we had to shoot like 30 something pages every day. So I'm very good with memory. So I know how to study, and I'm a fast learner. I learn my lines quite quickly, fortunately. Um, but it's more about, it's not just learning them. It's like really knowing them. It's like knowing what's going on with this character right now, knowing what's going on with Javier right now, and how does he behave here when he's like at the fair in Bilbao or when he's at home with his parents, which is very different. And I think that just comes from studying and studying and studying and allowing your imagination to just uh, flourish in a way. And after that comes like the really fun part, which is whatever you've prepared, whatever I prepared, whatever I've studied, and whatever ideas I have, then we just get to bounce it off each other with Ashley in this case. And that's where the fun starts. That's when things start to get like they go to another dimension. That's what I think. That's where the real game comes to pass. And that's where I was really lucky because she was always like also bouncing off ideas, and we had like this really good chemistry, and we understood each other's sense of humor, which I think is what really helps, like I told you before. And so that just makes it child play. Once you've done your work and then you're just gonna play, then it's just fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely agree with that one quote from whoever, wherever, because
Yeah,
I feel like we have to person, if we have a job or we're acting or whatever, to go, I can't be a band right now. I need to focus on this. So it's just like me as a teacher. I mean, I
of
can't be
course,
their friend. I have to be their teacher.
of
But in the
course,
summertime, I could be their friend. Just check in. How are you doing? Are you safe? Are you happy? Are you comfortable? That kind of thing. Because I had one parent comment or told one of my students, I was like, well, you can't. You are her teacher. You can't be her friend, so you don't have to worry about her. Just do the job. And I'm
of
like,
course. Yeah,
I definitely know where my boundaries or my line is as the teacher.
yeah,
Through the school year, the weekend, I can like shift my boundaries. But in the summer, I'm their friend. I want to make sure they're okay, they're safe, they're comfortable in their own home because sometimes their families are done and
of
there's no
course.
communication. So I'm the only person that's done and have direct communication. So I really resonated with that quote. And
Yeah.
what you say about preparing yourself every day for the teen focus 30 pages, well, there was some experience through while you're reading the script and you're talking with Ashton and you're trying to make the scene work. 'Cause I'm not sure we should do that moment right there. What if we adjust it to make it look like more heartfelt? Did you ever had like a point of an opinion, and was that difficult between you and Ashley or anybody else in the film?
Hmm. I think we mostly agreed on almost everything. Also, because I know that I mean,
Okay.
a good advantage of working with her is that she's done lots of Hallmark movies, so she really knows um, the tone that you have to have for the particular movie, and she knows precisely when the commercial cut's going to come, and she knows like what people are expecting, and she knew pretty much everything. So I did throw my suggestions in always. Not all of them came through, of course, but it's like that's just the way it works. You suggest tons of things, and then we come like there's like an agreement on it. And of course, it depended on what the director wanted to do, or what Ashley wanted to do, or what we wanted to do. And I think we always found like a common ground where we were all like comfortable with it. And I don't remember. I'm trying to think, because there was probably something. Um, I mean, the thing is that I never take anything personal in while shooting a movie. I mean, as long as nobody's like disrespectful, I don't take it personal. Meaning, if I suggest something and they say, "Oh, you know what? We're not going to try this. We're going to try this instead." Okay, I'm good with it. It's not like I don't make it that personal because it's not. The movie is it's a communal thing. It's our movie. It's not my movie. It's not my thing. And of course, you can suggest something and you can do it, and then they can cut it out. Meaning it's
Right.
never like you know. But I don't think that we ever had like a strong disagreement about anything in that sense. I mean, I know we found certain things in the script that we knew that were not going to work that well, and we worked together to change them because of location or because of what had happened before or because the way we shot another scene that we knew that we had to like not rewrite the scene but like play it in a different way so that it would match. Um, and I think that's also part of the chemistry that you were talking about before. Like we knew our characters and we knew the story and we knew the work, so we wanted it to make like sense, like real sense, and also respect the tone and have a comedy and everything, like keeping it alive. And that's what it made it just such a joy to work with because it was constant work. That's just because you love the work, and if you have the luck to be working with people that love their work as well so much, like Ron and Ashley and Allison and Ale, all of them are just really passionate about their jobs, and you're always trying to make it better, the best way you can, you know. And I don't think that we had like I've told you, I don't think we had any sort of disagreements. Um, we were just trying to make the best of what we had all the time, and that was what made it really fun as well.
All right, diving into the movie. Can
Yeah,
you share a little bit more about that restaurant scene where I actually tried to speak Spanish?
that's your
I
favorite,
do
right?
hot. I'm like, I've been saying that all week, and that scene just particularly made me laugh. I was like, I know very basic Spanish. I was like, that's not how do you say that. Oh, so tell me a little bit more about that scene because they're like, you study down, and she study down, and everybody's so like lucky a little bit, like whatever, and you're like
Yeah,
trying to help, and she's like, no, I'm fine.
yes,
No, you've been calling people this. She's like, that
yeah,
kind of thing. So how did that work?
yeah. Well, I think actually there was something about that scene, um, because the line was different. Because she, whatever she said in Spanish, I think it was different. And I remember I
Yeah,
suggested that to her because I told her, she was saying like estoy muy buena or something like that. And the line in English was different to what I suggested, which was true that if you say estoy bueno in Spanish, it means I'm hot, you
yeah,
know? And I think that was funny. I said, I think we should say this. I mean, I'm not sure if this is okay for Hallmark, which I think it was, of course. But I think this, I remember that we changed it very, very, and she said, oh, yeah, that's great. Let's do this, blah, blah, blah. And that scene, it was a very small restaurant, even though it doesn't seem that way. It was very small. So it was like the two of us and what you cannot see, like behind cameras, there were like 50 people packed in that very small restaurant, like behind the bar. They were all like this. You were looking at, I was looking at like the camera guy, Axel, which is a fantastic cameraman as well. Like they were like super stuck in this place. Uh, Outside, it was raining and it was a terrible windy day. It was actually quite cold. Uh, and I remember there were some moments where they didn't know exactly where the tables were going to go. We were going to be a little bit more apart from each other. We were going to be a little bit more close together. If there was going to be a table with people in between us, or if not. And I think at the end it was just like we're just like together and close by. And I think it's one of the key moments of the movie, and that's what made it fun as well because it's the moment where I sort of stopped being that stubborn, which I was before. Like, I think like the first part of the film, I'm like all about this, like the money and the saffron, and this is expensive. And why are you talking about my family like this, and what are you doing? What's your job and everything? And and here was the moment when I think Javier realizes that she's not just another tourist. She's like special because she got to this really exclusive place by herself. So what's she doing here? Is this fate? What's going on? You know, that was like the thing. Like, you know, sometimes it happens in life. Like you say, like, is this for real? Is this for real? That was like the general sensation. And we also had Natalia, the girl that plays the waitress, who's a fantastic actress as well. And it was really helpful to bounce the three of us, like the lines and everything there. And it's like generating this awkwardness that makes it funny, you know, at the beginning. Like, should we, shouldn't we? And I think we prolonged it a little bit. When we're together, we're also like, when we're sitting together at the table, we're already like awkward as well. And I remember when we shot like the second part of the scene, like after we've had dinner and they're like closing up the place, we did like a couple of takes where we were like measuring how drunk we were. You know, we did like a take that that both of them were a little bit drunk, then we were not so drunk, and then we did the take when we were like just a bit tipsy because we assumed that they were drinking wine and they were having dinner and everything. I think that the one that's in the movie is just a tipsy one, but it was really fun to play like the drunk version, like the mildly drunk version, and the tipsy one. That was really fun, and I remember we had to choose what we were gonna eat, and our department brought like she was eating pasta, I think, and they gave me like this sort of crab. I think it was crab. It was a crab, yeah. And we had like we had to choose, and it was really fun as well. um, because I made fun of Ashley a lot during the film because of how she ate and what she picked for food. And it was like you should you should try different things, not just eat like your regulars, you know, because you're in Spain, you're in Bilbao, it's a great place. You got to eat lots of things. It's one of
Mm-hmm.
the most impressive culinary places in the world, you know, really. I mean, if you're ever in Bilbao, you really have to try lots of things because it's a great place for food. And she was just, nah, just get five guys. and and in that scene, I think this was maybe it was the first week. This could have been like fourth day of shooting, and I think we already got along before that, like fine. But now we were like starting to become friends, which is a very nice moment between two people when you start like actually becoming friends. And I think that I'm not sure if that would be my favorite scene because I enjoyed some others, but that's definitely the top five. Yeah, that was a
Happening.
really
And I was watching that again. I was like thinking, I was like, okay, I'm a lip reader.
yeah,
The foreign language or something that comes up on my TV that the mask what they say, I have to go back. I was like, did you really say that? Because I'm looking on Google Translate. I was like, that doesn't mean he talked. So there's something going on between the Estoy Bien. That means I'm fine. Dude,
exactly.
that kind of thing. So was it tough teaching actually basic Spanish, or did she have a little bit of knowledge in Spanish language for this movie?
I think she knew a little bit because Ali speaks really good Spanish. She does speak Spanish well, and I mean, I think Ashley's character didn't have to learn that much, which was fun because she had like these jokes with the Wi-Fi password line with the guy that plays my dad, or the shot of Arujo, which is something that really make me laugh a lot. And she would always say to anything anybody asked at any moment, she would always just like say gracias, 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 gracias. She was always saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone, you know. And I don't think I taught her anything in Spanish, to be honest. I don't remember any. Maybe a couple of words, but not much. Not much really. I mean, she knew basics, of course, because she also lives in LA, where they get to, of course, talk in Spanish. And like I told you, they had already been in Barcelona for a couple of weeks, so I imagine they tried to and learn some words in Spanish as well. And she did try to communicate with some people in the crew in some lines in Spanish. And it was really fun to watch. Actually, those were my moments where I could actually make a little bit of fun from my boss. It was like, yeah, no, it was very similar to the scene in the movie. It's like, yeah, you don't usually say that, you know. That's not the way you should say that. It's like, oh, sorry, sorry, sorry. And yeah, it was really fun as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I was watching that kid, I'm there. How did they pull that off? I mean, it was perfect. No, no, how about teeth and on it? Oh, you should call me hot, didn't you? I was like, estoy bien, nah, hot. No, I wouldn't know that. I know very little Spanish because I took Spanish for 1 year in high school and I took it again in college. And
Okay.
then we went to a whole lot of Spanish museums. I live in Washington, D.C.
All right,
So
great.
I had a lot of opportunities with history class or
Of
Spanish
course.
class. Your homework could go to the Spanish museum, find it, a ticket you like, and make a 1 page in Spanish. I was like, I
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like Google Translate my paper because I could not write in Spanish. I could be, my llamo cat, my name is cat.
Claro.
That very better, but like literally to carry a conversation now. Both of my
Yes.
parents spoke Spanish.
Oh,
They
wow.
passed away myself and my three brothers and sisters to be bilingual. But when me and my brother being deaf, they were like, so we know
Yeah.
we basic. But with my other brother or sister, they don't know Spanish. But my youngest brother can converse in Spanish. But my sister was like, no, no, habla better English, please. So yeah,
It's all about practice, you know. Once you start practicing, and I think the thing is, if you get the possibility to be in a place where they're just speaking Spanish the whole time, then it's much easier. You get to practice it a lot more, and then it just starts coming out naturally, so to speak. But also the thing here was that most of the crew, I mean, we had Ron, the director, who's obviously Canadian, and Tyler, cinematographer, is also Canadian. So we most of the set talk was in English, and also part of the crew was Catalan, and some of them spoke Catalan, and they communicated in Catalan, which is not the same Spanish, of course. So it's like, and of course in the Basque country, some people speak Basque, you know. So it was a very multilingual set. So English was like the norm in general.
definitely. Now there's another game that I want to talk about where
Yeah,
Anna had to spend the night at Javier's house, and Javier like, I'm done. I'm
yeah,
done. But you gotta get out before
that's my favorite.
no.
That's my favorite scene of the whole movie. I really love that scene.
Hilarious. She'd be like, she had no answer. She's like, what the permito mean? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What do you do? Tell me a little bit more about that skin.
That was I don't know if it was the first day we shot in the house. I don't think so, but that was really fun because it's once you start finding like comedy is all about timing. You know, it's all about like a beat and a rhythm. And once you start finding the rhythm, then it really starts to work, and you are really having fun with it. And I think that the way that we had to do this movie for it to work well um, was like. Of these moments that could be a bit corny, we had to break them with the comedy. You know, that was really fun about it. And I also remember there's like the house was impressive. Like everything is just impressive in that place. It's a really old house. So like the floors were all squeaky and the doors made noises and everything was like part of it added the charm to the movie, you know? And I remember we got to that room, and again all of the crew were like stuck with their backs against the
Yeah.
wall with the camera like this, like a very small place for them to be at, which is also fun, you know. And I remember we had like this. I think Ron suggested some of the. There was this one line, the one that I just said, like, you have to leave before dawn. You know, like for it to be like really serious. Um, I think that's what made it really fun because like this really romantic moment that they are about to kiss, and then he suddenly just kisses her on the cheek and is like, "You have to leave. Okay, it's okay, but you have to leave." I'm sorry, and it's like because he's like, I think the thing about Javier here is like he's like debating himself, like, "What am I doing? Like, what am I really doing here? Like, this is not gonna end well." You know, it's like, yeah, something's gonna go terribly wrong with this. You know, and but that's this is a very hallmarky sentence I'm going to say, but I think that's the power of love as well. You know, it's like you're doing something that's not right, but you still do it because it's as something different is going on inside of you. You know, and that's okay. And let's just do this. Let's just please stay. And tomorrow we'll leave. We'll see about it tomorrow. You know, and I think that's one of the scenes that best defines the character because it's like yes but no but yes but no but please but no but stay but leave but you know this is really really fun to play and really fun to integrate in like the rest of the movie as well, you know. And again of course bouncing off with Ashley in this scene, it's also really fun because she got to play all of these reactions when I was leaving, and I didn't see that, for example, when I when I did the scene with her. I was, of course, coming in and out from the room, and I didn't know what she was doing. So when I saw the movie and I saw these reactions, like when she was thinking, and the music and everything, it just made me laugh so hard because I didn't know what was going on there. You know, I just popped in and say, "I'm sorry," and then buenas noches and everything. And after I saw the movie, I was like, well, "Yeah, this is really
Yeah,
good.
because that
This is a
scene,
really
the
good
whole
scene."
movie was like, okay, we have some feeling there, and then an awkward moment, and then
Yeah,
like, are we going this way or are we not going to do anything? So
yeah,
when we went to the house, she's like, and then you be like, I'm dying. Okay, I'm really dying. And ask you that you leave, and she be like, okay, go
yeah,
to sleep. And then the next morning, the cat
yeah.
come to the family, the mom, the dad, the grandma, the
Every,
cousin, one after another. Hmm. That is that moment when I saw the movie, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I mean, I watched it over and over. My friend
wow.
texted me on Instagram. She goes, I have another idea for you to do your silly movies or whatever that you do. I was like, oh no. If it involves a pickup or a kiss or anything, I can't do that because I'm a one person for this. I can't be like, she goes,
Yeah.
no, the kingdom of the whole family burst in out of the room and Javier looking so guilty. I was like, oh, that king. Okay, I could do
Yeah.
that. So I had like a wardrobe chain and my friend was like, oh my God, this weird or whatever you think to serve an actor because you, oh my, I don't thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations. It's a very difficult scene to
Yeah,
play for yourself. Yeah.
for sure. To wow.
Absolutely.
What? Say that again.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a very difficult scene to play for you, for yourself. You know, that was, yeah, great. Congratulations.
I try to make them work about that. Okay, if I can't do that, I'm gonna do something like random stuff like that. I love it how you put in there or put that in there. It's like there's some things I can't do. There's some things that he's not involved with this movie, but he will be involved somehow. So to wrap up the podcast, I wanted to say a moment to say thank you for being a Packer band for such a moment in your life. Because I thought from Noah and Kristen podcast, they asked you, are you a sports fan? What are your favorite sports teams? And I was just watched, I was like, did he say Packers?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew the guy. I knew I loved the guy for something. So thank you.
Yeah.
the moment that you love the Packers because I am a die-hard Packer fan.
Really, I was a
Everybody,
big fan of
yep.
Brett Favre when I was growing up. I remember watching.
Mm.
I love him. I love that team in particular was great. I think I don't really know why because it's weird to be like I remember Green Bay Packers like really clearly. You know, it was like because most of the people I know here or when I was growing up in Mexico, like the big team was the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone was a Dallas Cowboys fan because of Troy Aikman and everyone. And I never really liked them, to be honest. And it was Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman, and like it was like these like superstar team. And I never really liked them. I don't like them to the day. Like I'm sure they're a good team, but it's like it's never resonated with me. And the Packers have always have, you know. And I remember Brett Favre being like this amazing quarterback, just fantastic at everything he did, and those are good memories when I was a kid. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. I mean, I was born in Green Bay. So you could
Oh
say
wow.
I was the Packer fan literally like forever. And growing up back then, my father was the quarterback. It's not like that. The Cowboys. No, that was
No.
number one team I did not like at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, Green Bay Packers, a great
Yes.
team to be a band of, and the OG.
Yeah.
So well, thank you for that small moment on that podcast. But you were saying you were a band. I was like, the guy in the Packer band. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I was waiting for you to text me. I was like, I'm sorry that took so long. He was muy caliente on the podcast. So I needed some time to cool off. Well, again, thank you so much for sharing your perspective of your first ever Hallmark movie as a leading man and able to work with the legends Alison Sweeney and Ashley Williams. So both those of you out there have not seen To Barcelona with Love or To Barcelona Forever. It's all on Hallmark Channel and Hallmark Plus. So go check it out and see what kind of fun we've been talking about on this podcast, making this movie.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been a joy to talk with you and just know get to have this fun chat with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so very much.
Absolutely, and I will try to pray for some more Hallmark movies for you in the future.
I will as
Somebody
well.
else or with Ashley. I'm gonna keep pushing out. I'm gonna put this guy more in movies, more on TV. I need to see more of this guy. And
Thank you
Ashley as
so much.
well too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I will push for that as well.
Definitely. Well, have a great rest of your day, Miguel.
You too, Kat. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much. Have lots of fun.
Adios.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Adios.